The cues that we receive from binocular. These cues are more powerful than monocular cues. The process of gaining binocular cues assess depth is known as stereopsis. Retinal disparity. We humans have two eyes. Separated by a distance of average 6.3 centimeter. Therefore, the retinal image of the same object differs slightly from each other. The closer an object is to the eyes, the greater will be the difference in its retinal image. Our brain analyzes the degree of disparity between these two separate retinal images and produces a single image of the object to judge information on depth, height, and width. Our eyes make an angle while focusing on an object known as convergence angle. Convergence angle for distant and nearby objects are different. When an object is at a distance, our eyes make smaller convergence angle, but when an object is closer to our eyes, our eyeballs rotate inwards and form a larger convergence angle. This change in convergence gives a clue about distance and depth of the perceiver. Try to look at your two index fingers when pointing them towards each other, half an inch apart and about 5 inches directly in front of your eyes. You will see a finger sausage as shown in the figure in front of you. Movement perception. How do we know that if a car is coming towards us or moving away from us? Movement perception is our ability to judge the direction and speed of a moving object. Psychologists have tried to answer the questions on movement perception using following 4 factors: retinal motion, motion after effect, induced movement, apparent movement, or stroboscopic motion. Retinal motion. When an object moves, its image on retina also moves. This motion of the retinal image is detected by spatial visual neurons, which are sensitive to change in motion and direction. In this way, we perceive movement. Motion after effect. If you fixate your gaze on a moving object for some time, maybe few seconds to a minute, and then move your gaze to a stationary object like wall, then the stationary object will be perceived as moving in opposite direction to the original moving object. This phenomenon is known as MAE and occurs due to motion adoption of our eyes. Induced movement. When a smaller stationary body is surrounded by larger moving body, then smaller body is perceived to move in the direction opposite to the larger body. Due to this phenomenon, we perceive moon as moving when it is surrounded by slowly moving clouds. Apparent movement or stroboscopic motion, first given by Gestalt theorist Wertheimer in 1912. In this phenomenon, when stationary stimuli are presented in succession, it is perceived in a motion. The illusion of motion occurs when a stationary object is first seen briefly in one location and following a short interval is seen in another location. This phenomenon is used to explain the movement perception in videos.